High expectations for Apple in the new year as well. The stock been under pressure a bit into the year end. Up double digits, though, off the November lows. Steve Kovac joins us now. He's sort of talking about what CEO Tim Cook has to manage, plenty to manage at a company like Apple heading into 2025. Steve.
Yeah, that's right, David. And Tim Cook will be here in 2025 like the rest of us. And going into next year, here's what's on his agenda. I'm going to give you two main things that he needs to pay attention to. First of all, dodging President-elect Trump's tariffs, as he did for Apple during Trump's first term. And second, China, specifically getting Apple Intelligence off the ground there. But let's start with tariffs first, because that's the most important. Trump coming into office in a few weeks, promising blanket tariffs of up to 60% on goods from China. That would, of course, hit Apple the hardest of any of the mega cap tech companies. Most products, including the majority of iPhones, are made in China. And look at how Cook managed to dodge tariffs in the first Trump term. He developed a relatively cozy relationship with Trump as his peers, such as Jeff Bezos, took more antagonistic stances. That all culminated back in 2019 when Cook gave Trump a tour of an Apple factory down in Texas. Now, that factory already existed, but Cook showed Trump a new model of Mac computers that were being made there. It became a win-win for both sides. Trump got to show folks that Apple was making things here in the United States, and the following month, Apple got relief from tariffs on imports from China. Now, ahead of Trump taking office again, he has already said Cook came and dined with him a couple of weeks ago in Mar-a-Lago. No mention from Apple or Trump himself on what that means for tariffs. So early in the year, here's what to keep an eye out for. Announcements from Apple related to job creation or manufacturing here in the United States. That could be seen as something they're giving Trump in return for some tariff relief. Now, let's turn over to China. Still got a lot of competition from homegrown competitor Huawei, but outside of hardware, Apple needs to get the government to approve Apple Intelligence so it can launch on iPhones in that country. I asked Cook about this last earnings, fresh off one of his recent trips to China. He didn't have a comment on how those talks are going, but they do continue. And, of course, Apple needs Apple Intelligence for those Chinese consumers who tend to be more obsessed with tech specs. That could help them drive some sales there. And it would likely have to partner with Baidu or another Chinese company for artificial intelligence, since OpenAI, the current AI partner on the iPhone, that is blocked in China, guys.
No shortage of challenges you just laid out, Steve. I guess on the tariff front, do you have any expectations there in terms of what they might announce to ameliorate any of the incoming Trump administration's concerns, when it comes, I guess, to U.S. manufacturing? Are there more things Apple could do on our soil?
There are some things they can point to. And they've done this in the past, including and especially during the first Trump administration, talking about job creation through things like the App Store. Apple has done a number of internal studies and paid economic research that they say shows, they support, billions and billions and billions of dollars of economic activity here in the United States. He can also point to that TSMC facility out in Arizona that's going to be making chips for some Apple devices. And then he can point to just other job-related or other investments here in the United States and other suppliers here in the United States, such as Corning for their glass and things like that. But no one really has a serious expectation that Apple will be subject to tariffs this time and will find a way around it, just like they did in that first Trump term, David.
All right. I mean, just to be clear, the iPhone is still largely made in China, correct?
In China, yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. The vast majority are made there. They're trying to offload some of that to places like India, but that's nowhere near the capacity to make enough iPhones to cover up any Chinese tariffs. And if that does happen, of course, prices would have to go up, David.
Yeah, and up potentially substantially. Steve, thank you.
Thanks.